Ever driven through a town so quiet you could hear the wind whistle through empty streets? What if entire states in America are starting to feel that way? Nearly 60% of the U.S. is losing people faster than it's gaining them, turning bustling communities into modern-day ghost towns. Why are folks packing up and leaving? Which states are emptying out quickest? Stick with us as we count down the 10 states no one wants to touch in 2025. Let's dive in. Number 10. West Virginia. First up, West Virginia, where the Appalachian Mountains cradle a state that's seen better days. Think misty valleys and cozy small towns, but here's the kicker. People are leaving in droves. In 2024, West Virginia's population shrank by 1.2%, about 20,000 folks, per U.S. Census Bureau estimates. That's like a high school reunion where half the class didn't show. Why the exodus? Jobs, or rather, the lack of them. Coal used to be the heartbeat of West Virginia, but it's fading fast. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says coal production dropped 40% from 2015 to 2024, torching thousands of jobs. Unemployment's at 5.6%, higher than the national 4.1%. Sure, there's some healthcare and retail work, but good luck finding a gig that pays the bills and keeps you dreaming big. Living here's cheap. Median home prices are just $148,000 per Zillow. But so are wages. The average household makes $52,000 a year, nearly 30% below the U.S. average of $74,000. Young folks aren't sticking around for that. They're bolting for cities like Raleigh or Pittsburgh. The result? 1 in 5 West Virginians is over 65, one of the oldest populations in the country. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, the opioid crisis. West Virginia's got the highest overdose death rate in the nation, 81 per 100,000 people in 2023, per the CDC. It's tearing families apart and leaving communities hollow. Toss in shaky roads and spotty Wi-Fi, and you've got a state that feels like it's stuck in a time warp. West Virginia's got charm, from the New River Gorge's stunning vistas to cozy diners serving pepperoni rolls. But charm alone can't stop the slide. Without new jobs or a lifeline for its struggles, this mountain gem's at risk of becoming a ghost town where the hills echo with goodbyes. Number 9. Mississippi. Next, we're cruising down to Mississippi, the land of blues, catfish, and southern hospitality. Sounds like a dream, right? But hold up. People are leaving faster than you can strum a guitar. In 2024, Mississippi lost 0.8% of its population, about 23,000 folks per census data. For a state of 2.9 million, that's a big chunk saying, see ya. What's got everyone running? Poverty's the big one. Mississippi's the poorest state in the U.S., with a median household income of $49,000 per the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Nearly 19% of folks live below the poverty line, almost double the national 11.6%. Jobs? Mostly low-paying, in farming or fast food. Unemployment's at 5.2%, and high-flying careers in tech or finance? They're about as common as snow in Jackson. Education's another sore spot. Mississippi ranks 48th for public schools, per 2024 National Education Association data. Only 24% of adults have a college degree, compared to 39% nationwide. No wonder young people are packing up. 10,000 folks aged 18 to 34 left in 2023, per the American Community Survey. They're chasing better schools and brighter futures elsewhere. Then there's the state of, well, the state. Rural areas are falling apart. Think crumbling bridges, snail-slow internet, and hospitals on the brink. The Mississippi Department of Health says 38% of rural hospitals could shut down soon, leaving folks hours from care. Oh, and Mother Nature's no friend here. Tornadoes and floods cost $1.2 billion in 2023, per NOAA. Mississippi's got soul. from Clarksdale's blues joints to Natchez' antebellum homes, but Seoul can't pay the bills or keep kids in school. Without a plan to lift its people up, this southern star's fading into a ghost town where the magnolias bloom, but the people don't stay. Number 8. Louisiana. Now, let's swing into Louisiana, where the bayous hum with life and the good times should roll. From New Orleans' jazz-soaked streets to Lafayette's spicy crawfish boils, this state's a cultural jackpot. But here's the twist. It's losing people faster than a Mardi Gras float loses beads. In 2024, Louisiana's population dropped 0.9%, or 41,000 folks, per census estimates, one of the steepest declines in the U.S. What's chasing people away? Let's start with the land itself. It's literally disappearing. Louisiana's coast is eroding at 16 square miles a year, per the USGS. Hurricanes and rising seas are swallowing towns whole. Hurricane Ida in 2021 caused $75 billion in damage, and 2024 storms added $2 billion more per NOAA. Flood insurance? It's a wallet drainer, averaging $5,200 a year per FEMA. The economy's in rough shape, too. Oil and gas have been Louisiana's bread and butter, but jobs are drying up. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says offshore drilling jobs fell 25% since 2015. Unemployment's at 5.4%, and the median household income's just $54,000, way below the national average. Even New Orleans is hurting. Tourism's down 10% from pre-COVID days, per the New Orleans Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the city lost 44,000 residents since 2020. Crime's a big issue, too. Louisiana's got the highest murder rate in the country, 16.7 per 100,000 people in 2023, per the FBI. New Orleans drives a lot of that, with some areas feeling like you need a bulletproof vest to grab groceries. Schools aren't much better. Louisiana ranks 45th in education spending, making it tough for families to see a future here. Young folks are bailing, with 15,000 people aged 25 to 44 leaving in 2023, per the American Community Survey. They're heading to Texas or Florida, where jobs and safety are easier to find. Louisiana's got heart. Think gumbo, jazz, and those vibrant Mardi Gras parades. But heart can't stop the floods or the crime. Right now, this state's more a place to visit than to call home. Number 7. Illinois. Illinois, the land of Lincoln, where Chicago's skyline sparkles and cornfields stretch to the horizon. It's got big city hustle and small-town charm, but here's the catch. People are leaving like they're late for a train. In 2024, Illinois lost 1.1% of its population, about 140,000 folks, making it a top contender for outmigration, per U.S. Census Bureau estimates. That's a city the size of Peoria vanishing in a year. What's driving the stampede? Taxes, for one, and they're a real gut punch. Illinois has one of the highest state income tax rates at 4.95%, plus property taxes that'll make you wince. Cook County homeowners around Chicago shell out $6,800 a year on average, per the Illinois Department of Revenue, compared to the national median of $2,800. No wonder folks are fed up. Big companies like Caterpillar and Boeing have jumped ship to low-tax states like Texas, taking thousands of jobs with them. Jobs are shaky outside Chicago, too. The state's unemployment rate is 5.1%, above the national 4.1%, and rural manufacturing has lost 15% of its jobs since 2010, per the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Chicago's a financial hub, but tech layoffs and remote work shifts are thinning the crowd. The median household income's $78,000, solid but not enough when the cost of living's 10% above the national average, per the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Crime's a deal-breaker, especially in Chicago, where the murder rate hit 18.3 per 100,000 in 2023. Per the FBI, one of the highest in the U.S. Families and young pros are bolting for safer spots like Nashville or Denver, with 45,000 people aged 25 to 44 leaving in 2023, per the American Community Survey. Toss in brutal winters. Chicago gets 38 inches of snow and dips to 10 degrees per NOAA, and crumbling infrastructure like potholed roads and a creaky transit system, and you've got a state folks are waving goodbye to. Illinois still shines with Lake Michigan's beaches and Springfield's history, but taxes, crime, and job losses are turning it into a ghost town in the making. Number 6. New Mexico. New Mexico, the land of enchantment, where desert sunsets glow and chili peppers spice up life. It's a southwestern dream, or it should be, but people are hightailing it out faster than a roadrunner on a mission. In 2024, New Mexico's population fell 0.7%, or about 15,000 folks, per census data. For a state of 2.1 million, that's a big chunk saying, adios. What's got residents running? Poverty's a heavy weight. New Mexico's one of the poorest states, with a median household income of $54,000, per the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Over 18% live below the poverty line, nearly double the national 11.6%. Jobs are scarce outside Albuquerque or Santa Fe, with unemployment at 5.0%. The economy leans on government gigs and tourism, but high-paying fields like tech, they're as rare as rain in the desert. Education's a rough ride, too. New Mexico ranks 49th in public education, per 2024 National Education Association data, with only 27% of adults holding a bachelor's degree, compared to 39% nationwide. Young folks are packing up. 12,000 people aged 18 to 34 left in 2023, per the American Community Survey, chasing better schools and careers in Colorado or Arizona. Crime's a sore spot, with New Mexico boasting the second highest violent crime rate in the U.S., 780 incidents per 100,000 people in 2023, per the FBI. Albuquerque's a hotspot, with neighborhoods where you double-check your locks. Rural areas aren't much better, with spotty internet, water shortages, and 30% of hospitals at risk of closing, per the New Mexico Department of Health. New Mexico's got heart, from Santa Fe's art scene to White Sands' otherworldly dunes. But heart can't stop the crime or lift the poor. This enchanted land's fading into a ghost town unless it finds a spark. Number 5. Kansas, Kansas, where golden wheat fields sway and Dorothy's No Place Like Home feels like a distant echo. This heartland gem's got space to breathe and folks who wave at strangers, but it's losing people faster than a twister spins through Oz. In 2024, Kansas's population dipped 0.6%, or about 18,000 residents per census estimates. That's a slow bleed for a state of 2.9 million, but it's adding up fast. Why the exit? Opportunities drying up. Kansas lives and breathes agriculture, wheat, cattle, you name it. But farming's struggling. The U.S. Number 4. Gas? Department of Agriculture says farm incomes fell 20% from 2015 to 2024, hit by trade disputes and wonky weather. Unemployment's at 4.8%, just above the national 4.1%, and outside Wichita or Kansas City, jobs are thin. The median household income's $68,000, below the national average, per the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Rural Kansas is hurting most. Over 80% of counties lost residents in 2024, per the Census Bureau. Small towns are ghosting themselves as young people split. 10,000 folks aged 18 to 34 left in 2023, per the American Community Survey, chasing tech jobs in Denver or Dallas. Education's not helping, with Kansas ranking 32nd in school funding and only 29% of adults holding a college degree, lagging the national 39%. Weather's no picnic either. Kansas is Tornado Alley's epicenter, averaging 90 twisters a year, per NOAA, with $800 million in damages in 2023. Summers hit 100 degrees, Winters drop to zero, and rural infrastructure's crumbling. Only 60% of the state has decent broadband, per the FCC. Kansas has charm, from sunflower fields to Wichita's live music. But charm can't keep the young or stop the storms. This prairie state's on track to become a ghost town where the wind's the loudest voice. Wyoming. Wyoming, the cowboy state, where mountains tower and plains stretch like a cowboy's yarn. It's rugged, wild, and screams freedom, until you try living here. People are leaving faster than a herd scattering before a storm. In 2024, Wyoming lost 0.8% of its population, about 4,600 folks, per census estimates. For a state with just 580,000 residents, that's a big blow. What's got folks saddling up and riding out? The economy's a one-horse town. Wyoming leans on energy, coal, gas, oil, but coal's crashing. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says production fell 35% from 2015 to 2024, with mining jobs down 20%. Unemployment's at 4.7%, and the median household income's $71,000. Decent, but not enough when opportunities are scarce. Tech or manufacturing? They're barely a whisper. Wyoming's the least populous state, with 6 people per square mile, per the Census Bureau. That means lonely towns, few services, and 15% of small businesses shuttered since 2020, per the Wyoming Economic Development Association. Young folks are gone. 8,000 people aged 18 to 34 left in 2023, per the American Community Survey, chasing city vibes in Colorado or Utah. Winters are brutal, with Cheyenne seeing 20 degrees and 60 inches of snow, per NOAA. Wildfires cost $500 million in 2023, per NOAA, and only 65% of rural areas have reliable broadband, per the FCC. Healthcare's sparse. 25% of hospitals could close, per the Wyoming Department of Health. Wyoming's got beauty, from Yellowstone's geysers to Jackson Hole's slopes, but beauty doesn't pay the bills. This cowboy's riding toward ghost town status unless it ropes in new hope. Number 3. Alaska, Alaska, the last frontier, where glaciers shimmer and grizzlies roam under skies painted with northern lights. It's the kind of place you'd think people would fight to call home, until you see the moving trucks headed south. In 2024, Alaska's population shrank by 0.9%, or about 6,600 people, per U.S. Census Bureau estimates. For a state with just 733,000 residents, that's like losing a small town in a year. Why are Alaskans ditching the wilderness? First off, living here is like paying a premium for a front-row seat to nature's show. Everything's shipped in, so groceries cost 30% more than the national average, per the Bureau of Economic Analysis. A gallon of milk? $4 to $50s. Over $4 a gallon per A. The median household income's $81,000, better than the national $74,000, but it's no match for winter heating bills that can hit $500 a month. Housing's a stretch, too. Median home prices are $360,000. Per Zillow, steep for a state with few job hubs. Speaking of jobs, Alaska's economy is a one-trick sled dog. Oil, fishing, and tourism keep it afloat, but oil's slipping. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says crude production dropped 20% from 2015 to 2024, wiping out thousands of jobs. Unemployment's at 4.9%, above the national 4.1%. Outside Anchorage, good gigs are as rare as a sunny day in February. Young folks are packing up. 9,000 people aged 18 to 34 left in 2023, per the American Community Survey. Chasing careers in Seattle or Denver. Then there's the isolation. Alaska's the least densely populated state, with 1 person per square mile, per the Census Bureau. Rural villages often lack roads, relying on planes or boats for basics like groceries or doctor visits. Healthcare's dicey. 20% of rural clinics are at risk of closing per the Alaska Department of Health. And the weather? Brutal. Winters in Fairbanks dipped to 20 degrees with 70 inches of snow per NOAA. Wildfires added $400 million in damages in 2023 per NOAA, making life feel like a constant battle. Alaska's got magic, from Denali's towering peaks to Anchorage's whale-watching tours. But magic doesn't pay the bills or thaw the loneliness. This frontier's turning into a ghost town where the aurora shines, but the people don't stay. Number 2. Michigan, Michigan, the Great Lakes state, where sparkling waters and Motown beats should make it a paradise. Picture cherry orchards, sandy dunes, and Detroit's gritty comeback story. Yet people are leaving faster than you can say pure Michigan. In 2024, Michigan's population fell 0.8%, or about 80,000 folks, per census estimates. For a state of 10 million, that's a serious dent, like losing half of Ann Arbor in a year. What's got Michiganders hitting the highway? Jobs, or the lack of them, are a big culprit. Michigan's economy still leans on manufacturing, especially cars, but the industry's wobbling. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says auto manufacturing jobs dropped 18% from 2010 to 2024, hit by automation and global competition. Unemployment's at 5.0%, above the national 4.1%. Detroit's tech scene is growing, but it's not enough to replace the factory jobs that once defined the state. The median household income's $68,000, below the national average, per the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Cost of living's another thorn. Michigan's not New York pricey, but taxes bite. Property taxes average $3,200 a year, per the Michigan Department of Treasury, and state income tax is 4.25%. Median home prices are $235,000 per Zillow. Affordable but a stretch for locals earning less than in booming states like Texas. Young people are splitting. 35,000 folks aged 25-44 left in 2023, per the American Community Survey, chasing better pay in Chicago or Atlanta. Crime's a buzzkill, too. Michigan's violent crime rate is 461 per 100,000, higher than the national 380, per the FBI's 2023 data. Detroit's murder rate, 45 per 100,000, is among the nation's worst, scaring off families. Winters don't help, with 60 inches of snow and temps hitting 15 degrees in places like Grand Rapids, per NOAA. Infrastructure's crumbling. Think potholed roads and aging water systems, like Flint's infamous crisis, still a sore spot. In 2023, $1.5 billion in storm damage, per NOAA, added to the woes. Michigan's got heart, from Lake Michigan's beaches to Ann Arbor's college vibe. But heart can't fix a rusty economy or stop the snow. This Great Lakes gem's fading into a ghost town where the lakes shimmer, but the people are slipping away. Number 1. New York. And here we are, at the top spot. New York, the Empire State, where skyscrapers soar and dreams are born. From Manhattan's neon buzz to the Adirondacks' quiet trails, it's the state that's got it all. So why is it number 1 on our ghost town list? Because people are fleeing faster than a cab dodging Times Square traffic. In 2024, New York lost 1.6% of its population, over 300,000 folks, per U.S. Census Bureau estimates. That's the biggest drop in the nation, like losing the entire city of Buffalo in a year. What's got New Yorkers running for the exits? Let's start with the price tag. New York's one of the priciest states to live in, with a cost of living 20% above the national average, per the Bureau of Economic Analysis. In New York City, median rent for a one-bedroom is $3,200 a month, per Zillow, and median home prices statewide hit $450,000. Upstate's cheaper, but not by much. Albany's median home is $320,000. The median household income's $81,000. Solid, but no match for taxes that'll make your eyes water. State income tax tops out at 10.9% for high earners, and property taxes average $5,900 a year, per the New York Department of Taxation, double the national median. Jobs are a mixed bag. New York City's a finance and tech hub, but upstate's hurting. Manufacturing jobs fell 22% from 2010 to 2024, per the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and rural areas lean on low-wage gigs like retail. Unemployment's at 4.8%, above the national 4.1%. The pandemic's remote work boom sent high earners packing. 60,000 people aged 25 to 44 left in 2023, per the American Community Survey, heading to Florida or North Carolina for lower taxes and warmer weather. Crime's a growing shadow. New York's violent crime rate is 420 per 100,000, above the national 380, per the FBI's 2023 data. New York City's subway assaults and shoplifting spikes have made headlines, with a 15% rise in felony crimes since 2020, per the NYPD. Upstate cities like Rochester and Syracuse aren't much safer, with murder rates double the national average. Infrastructure's a mess, too. Think congested highways, aging bridges, and a subway system that's more headache than help. Winters are brutal, with 70 inches of snow in Buffalo and Chamonix 10-degree temps, per NOAA. Storms cost $2 billion in 2023, per NOAA, piling on the pain. New York's got soul, Broadway's lights, the Catskills trails, Buffalo's wings. But soul can't offset the bills, crime, or cold. The Empire State's bleeding people, and without a fix, it's on track to become America's biggest ghost town, where the skyline shines, but the streets grow quiet. We've crossed America's ghost town states, from fading frontiers to urban giants losing their grip. These places, Alaska, Michigan, New York, and the rest, aren't just losing people, they're losing pieces of the American dream. High costs, dying jobs, crime, and unforgiving weather are turning thriving communities into shadows of themselves. So what's the fix? Can these states bounce back, or are they doomed to fade? That's for another road trip. Which state surprised you most? Got a story about one of these places? Drop it in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. If you loved this journey, give us a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Until next time, keep exploring, and watch out for those ghost towns.